You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Robre.
How's every single one of you? You know, families on both YouTube and also Facebook. It's time to talk about Friday Night Smackdown. And now our first hour really difficult to watch, right? A little bit of like stupid like segments. Like I said, I would much rather see the Tribal Chief right there opening the show. But towards the end, you know, we have a big return, a lot of good stuff. So, you know, we're really excited to talk about this family. So what do you think, Paul?
I mean, overall, not a bad episode of SmackDown. I mean, I guess if you're comparing it to Raw and like AEW and stuff, but lately we've been seeing some pretty good stuff. This episode, it was kind of hit or miss, but I don't know. At least like the ending, I thought was good. It isn't how I would, you know, spoiler. It's, you know, it'll be in the thumbnail and everything. It isn't how I would have brought in Aleister Black, but you know, it was still good, a big return, and we kind of see who his first feud is going to be against. So
yeah,
at least they closed the show with something good.
Aleister Black is back, so you know, like we're going to be talking about his return, like you said, the possible way that like they already spoiled where he's going to go, but like at least, you know, that for me at least was a hook. Because, you know, they don't do returns like that like often. So that's at least really cool to see. Yeah. Thank you so very much to everybody that is watching. Thank you to Mr. Butler. Steven is already in the house. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for always being with us. And don't forget, family, to support us watching, you know, NXT UK. We always do the reviews. This great brand. And also we got a brand new Heritage Cup champion poll in the person of like Tyler Bate.
Yeah, you know, this was a great Heritage Cup match between A-Kid, Tyler Bate. I really enjoyed it. And also on the card, you know, what we saw Rampage Brown going against Wolfgang. We see that feud kind of continuing. The only real complaint, and I'm going to keep saying it, I don't care, is, you know, we need the heavyweight champion there. We need Walter. But other than that, you know, NXT UK, definitely my favorite wrestling show that we cover.
Is there like a NXT UK champion poll? Because I don't see it. I don't know who he is.
They should, whoever his next opponent should cut that promo.
Oh, yeah,
I hope whenever they decide who it is, you know, they kind of say like, where is the champ? You know, I'm the uncrowned champ because the champ's not here. But speaking of the champ, you know, we're at the end of the week because we're the champ. So let's talk about, you know, Friday Night
Exactly.
Smackdown.
Let's talk about Friday Night Smackdown, Paul. So like, you know, the big news, the first like big headline that we have yesterday, we had the Velveteen Dream and all of that. So like, you know, being released by like WWE. You want our thoughts? A lot of like people are coming out. You know, Kathy Kelly came out, all like saying like how difficult of a person it was to work with. And we work with very difficult people, Paul, and during our day. So, but we're not gonna disclose that. But like the big news right here is like WWE finally returning to the road. So you know, you see like how like especially in the United States, finally thanks to the vaccine, you know, the pandemic is becoming like less and less impactful. So that's really happy to see. You know, fans are going to be able to connect with the WWE superstars. So what are your thoughts really quick? I'm excited, you know, finally where we can go back to shows soon. So see the, you know, WWE from, you know, live, it will be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am excited, you know, to get to go to maybe a pay-per-view event or something, but definitely not for a while. I'm still going to be a little skeptical, but on this, it's my only comment is AEW did it first. You know, and not to be like, oh, I like it better, but it's like, hey, as soon as they were like, oh, we're back on the road, we're going to have shows, WWE was quick to jump on that too. They didn't want to let AEW have that lead on them for too long. So that's, I feel
exactly.
but everybody would have done it sooner or later. But it was just funny how it's like, it was so soon after AEW announced it.
We need to do it. We need to do it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care.
No. So like, you know, SmackDown opened up in a really different way. I don't know why, you know. So please, family, comment. How do you guys feel of the show? You know, different SmackDown. You know, the fallout from Wrestlemania Backlash. We're used to seeing like the Tribal Chief open it, Roman Reigns, all of that. But no, we get all the champions right there, Paul, lined up. I didn't like that because to me it's like more like, you know, like Family Feud or all of those things. You know, like just people or like whose line is it anyway? I don't know. What do you think of this opening? All champions reunited right there.
Yeah, and before that, Stephen Butler says no live sports events happening in Canada. And I mean, see, that's because your country is, you know, smart and has, you know, good leadership that they are being more cautious. Because I don't know if I would open up all this stuff just yet, but I feel, you know, hey, we want money from these sports venues. We want to charge you $14 for a hot dog. You know, come here, you know, give us your money, you know, But, you know, but for on this opening, it felt weird. And you had Sonya Deville in the ring, and she was like, oh, the Mysterios, Bianca Belair, you know, we have all these champions here. It's badass. Roman Reigns. I'm like, what is this? I I really didn't understand what this was for. You know,
It's
it was
kind of
just
like
seemed
a whole
weird.
like sorry that I'm cutting you about, like, for example, like an award show. Like, you know, when like you see awards at the beginning. Oh, where's performances by the Mysterious,
Yeah, but
Natalia and Tamina.
yeah, it definitely gave off that, like you said, that funny game show vibe. But also, I'm like, is like Night of Champions the next pay per view? Like, this is what you do, like on something like that. You bring out all your champions, even though every pay per view is like Night of Champions because almost every pay per view is defended on them, but or every match is a championship match. But you know, this it was just a weird opening to me.
Yeah, like you said, like well introduced Mysterious, Tamina, and Natalia, Apollo Cruz. Apollo even talked, and he says that it's really unfair that he has to defend the championship tonight, but he's going to do his best to defeat Kevin Owens, to defeat also Big E, and to defeat also Sami Zayn. So that's what we got. It was turned to like Roman Reigns to step in, and then with the old theme song, Paul Heyman came out and said, you know what, Tribal Chief, you know, he's going to come out of his zone, you know, when he wants to. You know, he doesn't have to like do this. You know, everybody over here, all these champions should be honored and the privilege to have, you know, feel really, you know, privileged that they have the honor to be in the same show as Roman Reigns. So like, you know, the same narrative, that's fine. You know, Paul
Yeah, and
Heyman always
I
says
like
this.
the line. He pretty much said something like they hold championships, but Roman is like a real champion, or you know, he's a champion, and you know, it'll be like the parade of the champion later on. He's like, you guys can have your little bullshit parade, you know, but Roman's gonna have the real parade just for him later on. So pretty much
Exactly.
just saying
So
like, like he's on another level.
exactly, like, and he is, you know, like, despite anything, he definitely is at a different level. You know, Roman, like, this is having his best run in the WWE. So, you know,
Oh, definitely.
I have to admit it. It pains me, but it's fine. You know, I can admit defeat. So Bailey interrupts Paul Heyman. Well, Paul Heyman leaves. Bailey interrupts, and she says, "Hey, I don't have a championship." But you know what? I'm better of a champion than every single one of you right here. He mentions Tamina, he mentions like Natalia. She said, hey, you know what? You guys suck. Same thing with Bianca Belair. She says she's the worst SmackDown champion, you know, all of that. So did you like this? Because I mean, Bailey, the intensity and that, how good of a heel she is, at least she saved it a little bit of this like very weird beginning of SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I like this promo by Bailey, and you know, Bailey's good, and I like how she didn't just run down Bianca; she ran down everybody. How can you have this? You know, because I was the best champion, the best SmackDown Women's Champion, putting herself over everything. This was good, but the only thing I didn't like about it is what it led into. You know what
Oh
we
yeah,
had to
yeah, you
see,
know,
but
and
I mean, this
yeah.
was good, and I guess this is setting up for maybe another match at Hell in a Cell. I don't know. I mean, see, I really don't know if I want to see them at Hell in a Cell, but the problem is, like we said before, they don't have any other woman built up, so it almost has to be Bailey. But
Exactly. No, no, in Poland. You know what I heard also? There's a lot of rumors. Remember how, like, what was the thing that she used to get the win? Bianca used the hair. And a
yeah,
lot of people are commenting. I'm saying, like, you know, Bailey's hair is a little weird, you know, like it's not really, well, like, calm well or anything. So, like, what do you think? They're thinking of doing hair versus hair. So I don't know if that's going to be a good idea. You know, I think Bailey doesn't mind maybe be bald. So I don't know if they will, like, I mean, they're going to pursue it,
the
but
only
it's
thing
been
I
a
will,
rumor.
the only thing I will comment on that is I will still love Bailey even if she's bald. So
Oh yeah, you know, like if Britney Spears was born,
because Bianca's not going to lose that match. You know, if they do a
exactly,
match
and
like
you know,
that, yeah,
and so this it turns out to be, you know, like the tag champs came out, Tamina and also Natalia, and then Shayna and Nia Jax came out, so it became a, you know, six women match. So like this was okay, so at the most, you know, like the match actually took a big chunk of the show, like what 10-15 minutes. So it was okay. I like how Tamina and Natalia presented decent though. You know, they're
oh
not
yeah,
like
yeah,
weak. They actually
oh
pull
yeah,
out the
Tamina.
good moves.
Oh, definitely. Tamina looks good. And I felt like it kind of focused on almost like everybody, sort of. It wasn't just like, oh, Bianca looks really legit or everything, but I couldn't get into this. You know, I'm sick of this Nia Jackson, Shayna in the title picture. They had, you know, they were butting heads. There was, you know, a split and cracks in the team. Split them up. Make Shayna legit. That would be an opponent for Rhea Ripley because boom, they have history. You can wait for that Charlotte match for SummerSlam. You know,
Yes.
you can do this with Shayna. Nia Jax can go fuck off. She can do whatever she wants. I don't really care. But
No,
you know,
you're right.
but a 6-woman tag match like this, I can't get into it. Like I said, the only thing I really like for it is how Shayna Baszler got the Kirifuda clutch for the win. Finally, Shayna
Oh
gets
yeah.
the win instead of getting pinned. But other than that,
Not,
you know,
and
like
I thought at some point I thought she was gonna get the pin. You know what?
yeah,
Like
so did
I
I.
like how
I was just waiting for it. I'm like, okay, here we go. But then she got the Kirifuda clutch and everybody was taken out. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know, she's actually going to do it. Yeah. So that
yes,
surprised me
exactly.
and I enjoyed it. So
You
at
know what,
least just, you know,
Steven?
the last couple seconds.
You know what Steven says? You know, same six women facing each other one more time. This time is like on a six women tag match. My reaction is, yeah, he's a young, and we all agree. This
Oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
This
Definitely
was
not a
bad,
good
but
way
like
to.
at least, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, definitely not like if you're like, flipping through the channels, okay, wrestling, you see Paul Heyman cut this promo, you see Bailey, oh, let's see what the first match is gonna be, and then it's this, this
Oh yeah.
isn't
No,
something
that
really
ruins it.
to hook you. You know what I mean? If you're flipping
Oh,
through the
that
channels, you're not gonna
definitely
stop.
ruins it. It definitely ruins it. And like you said, like Shane at least getting the pin is good, is important. And also Pato says, hi friends, greetings, saludos desde Ecuador, greetings from Ecuador. Pato, gracias por todo. Hope you're doing fine. Espero que estés bien. So stay for the review. Quédate para el resumen.
Hola,
So Paul,
hola,
let me know
Pato.
about. Yeah, there you go. Hola, yeah, Paul, Spanish also. Yeah, he loves Angel Garza. Paul is great. So let's talk about this guy that is not that great. Big E. They said, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Oh, a little bit of intensity. Oh, there's a lot of dogs right there, and I'm gonna try to do my best. I want to become the IC champion." This guy, dude, doesn't even have, intensity enough for me to get me to believe that like, he's gonna get the championship. I don't know what it is for me. Maybe I'm still hooked in like those 3-4 years of like New Day power positivity. But like for me, the fact that like he comes out in the same attire and all of that, I cannot get behind the guy. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, and then not to jump to the main event, but I feel like Big E, he had his run. Now he's kind of, maybe they thought, hey, this guy's really not connecting with everybody like we thought. Remember, there was going to be a big push. He was supposed to win the Royal Rumble, go to WrestleMania, and face Roman. That was the first
Yes.
idea they had. How long ago? They changed that. I feel like he's fallen down the card. I think this kind of really takes him out of the whole intercontinental picture for a while. But yeah, I know I feel the same way you do.
Yes, exactly. And also we want to say hi to one of our guys, Doug Masters. Thank you, my man. Thank
Yeah,
you. Like
thank you.
we had him in the show. Great interview. A lot of stories about like the old professional wrestling. We want to see you in the dark side of the ring. Hopefully that's coming up soon, right, Paul? We want
Yeah,
to see our
exactly.
boy Doug Masters. Don't forget to check him out. Also, like in the Kayfabe Corner. Every single I think Wednesday he has his show. Also with great interviews and all of that. So thank you, Doug, for watching the show. So you see Alistair Blackpool, a really good like promo by him, and maybe that was that was setting up for what was going to happen later on. But like he finally says, my father punished me in every single way possible, so now is my time to go back in the world, take care, like show you the way to every single one of you. All of that, and you see the eyes. So you saw that like an Alistair Black is finally different, and I really love that like they're finally giving him the opportunity that he deserves. I'm
Oh
really
yeah.
thinking that if he doesn't cash in into this, Paul, they don't use him well, go back and go to AEW or whatever. But what do you think?
Oh, definitely. And then, just quick, Doug Massey says, thank you guys. Yeah, no problem, Doug. Thank you, for tuning in. But for Alistair Black, this was, it was good. And I liked the beginning with the tattoo. He said, every tattoo I have on my body, it reminds me of pain. It's like an armor for me, all this stuff. It's leading. And then, like you said, being taught this lesson, everything. This is really good. Like you said, foreshadowing what's coming. And we said, give us one or two more of these promos, but this guy needs to show up in the ring. He needs to be in the arena. He needs to do something. And, they actually delivered on that. So.
Yes, exactly. No, I really like that. So that was really interesting. Now let's talk about like to me one of like the most entertaining parts of the show, Shinsuke Nakamura. With Baron Corbin or King Corbin one more time. We see that Shinsuke's been like talking about like all like just taking the crown everywhere. We see
Yes.
like going around. He was drinking tea with the cat and all of that. So really cool stuff. Then Baron Corbin or King Corbin comes out. He's really pissed off. He's like, "Oh, this is the worst thing I ever seen in my life." So when they come with that kind of line, I'm like, "Really, dude?" and you see that there's going to be another match in between the two of them. Do I really care about this? No. But like what happened before the introduction of Shinsuke Nakamura, that's what really made me pop. Like you said, every single time that they mix rock and roll with professional wrestling is the perfect thing for me. So we get to see this picture, and and I thought it was Elias. Like he got bolted up or something, and I'm like, okay. And then he starts playing Nakamura's like theme song, and that was really cool. What do you think so far, Paul? I was like,
Yeah, it was. Is this the first name Eric? Is it Eric Buse? or
No,
Boogs or
I got the
something.
name for you. I got the name for you, Paul. Just give me one quick second, and I will give you
Yeah,
the
but when
name.
he, I mean, that was, he called out Corbin, pretty much saying like Corbin's bullshit and everything, and then he's the real king of strong style, the rock and roll, this stuff, and he starts when he started shredding his entrance theme, and I mean, McAfee was selling it. McAfee was
Oh
going
yeah,
crazy. He was
yeah,
loving it, and he was just shredding this whole theme. Nakamura comes out. And I was excited for this. I'm like, now there's no way Nakamura can lose this match, so that got me
exactly.
excited because I'm
And
like,
the guy's name, Paul, is Rick Booges.
oh,
Booges.
Rick. Okay, it's Rick. I was
Rick.
Eric, Rick. that's close, right? Eric,
Yeah,
Rick.
he's
I
a
just added
talent
a
from
knee on it.
NXT.
Yeah,
From NXT, Paul.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
guess
He was. Yeah, yeah. They had him down there for a little bit, and then they called him up. He's actually the one who did the Old Spice thing with
Yes,
R-Truth and stuff a little
yes,
while
yes,
ago. Yeah, it's him.
exactly.
So, but I mean, I didn't know he had this talent. Hey, and this is good because he can just keep following Nakamura. Which I guess I can save this for after the match, or I can say now, he can keep following Nakamura, maybe distracting people playing guitar, and that could lead into a feud where people say, hey, you're bullshit. All you do is play guitar. If you actually fought me in the ring, you couldn't do anything. And then this guy wrestles and he gets wins, and that's a way to kind of introduce him into it. But I'm fine with him accompanying Nakamura for now. I like this, especially,
Oh yeah,
and like I said, I popped from shredding I'm going to listen to that on YouTube later.
exactly. No, and also like Steven says that the performance was really cool. Yes, it was. So and also
Yeah.
Steven, what do you think? Like finally incorporating another guy from Nakamura, it shows that like you saw this report, Paul. You saw that like Shinsuke said like, hey, I'm really still struggling. I'm struggling, in the WWE. The style is a little different for me. The cutting a promo is really hard because maybe the language barrier. But at least hey, they're putting another guy, so like it's a lot easier. He says that like sometimes Vince gives him ideas, but it still is difficult. But maybe this one is gonna work because the theme song is one of the things that sold Nakamura when he first came out. So like everybody see, all of us are loving this. So it's a cool thing to finally push him as a baby face. I really like it.
Oh yeah, and Rick Boogs or however you say his last name, he
Bougie,
can
yeah, or
yeah
bougie, or
Boogs or whatever. He can
yeah.
boogies. He can connect to the audience. Whether it's through the guitar, just being goofy or whatever. Like you heard him screaming earlier, like he has that like 80s rocker. Like he feels like he's right out of like a hair metal band. And
Yes.
that can connect and resonate with a lot of people, whether you enjoy it or think it's funny or whatever. And you pair that with Nakamura in the ring, legit. The only thing, to kind of talk about the match, to get into it, Corbin looked good. Nakamura, he had to kind of come back a little bit. They're putting over Corbin. Oh, he's pissed. You disrespect the king, all this stuff. And then eventually, Rick distracts him playing the guitar and everything. And, Nakamura gets the roll up, which I didn't really like that. I mean, I guess I'm fine with it. The first match, you're trying to get Rick over by playing the guitar, kind of get that gimmick over to be like, yeah, gets distracted by it. He doesn't just play the theme. He can, be a factor in the match, but you're calling Nakamura now the king of strong style. When they have the next match, it needs to be a Kinshasa, knock him out.
It
1, 2,
needed
3.
to be
Because
like a strong win.
because if strong style, no, like a roll up is like you're a wrestler, you're a technician. That's why, like when Bret Hart got these roll up wins, it wasn't like, it's not a big deal. But you call yourself the king of strong style, that should be a knockout. You get the pin by
And it will
kicking
also
somebody's
look
ass, not a
more
roll up.
devastated.
Yeah.
It sends a good message to Baron Corbin rather than. But it seems they're going to have another match.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
Of the creative. Yeah, and it's not working for them.
Oh yeah, no, I
But
agree.
Paul, like let's move on to the next segment. Like I said, really excited about Nakamura. He gets this new guy, Rick Booges, whatever you gonna call it. So Jimmy Uso, he's right there, and you see like the nice shirt, WWE Slam with like some Wall Samoans and all of that, his lineage. And she says to Sonya Deville, hey, I want a match with my brother. We're gonna be the Usos one more time. And what better way for a comeback to do this with the Street Profits? So Sonya says, you know what, it's a great idea. And I like what Sonya said, Paul. She goes, hey, but this type of a match, is going to be really cool. It needs to be advertised. It needs to be promoted. So not this week. How about next week? She's probably watching the NXT UK review with you. So like they say, hey, do it next week. Save it for a week. So that way you guys can promote it more. So I really like this.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure if the show was 3 hours, they would have said, "Oh, okay, we'll put it on at 10:15." Sounds good. But no. So they're doing it for next week. I like that. And we saw a little bit of story going on when Jimmy went to go tell Jay about it, and we saw the Street Profits. They hyped it up and everything. So I mean, it was all good. It like led to it. Wasn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this match next week, and then nothing until we see the match. They actually did try to hype it up because they're trying to make it feel like it's an important match. And I would assume, it's going to be a number one contendership, even though, like we say, they never call them number one contendership matches. They just do it, and then the winner is all of a sudden, oh yeah, you can challenge the champions now.
Yes,
Instead of making the match feel even more special.
Yeah, you're right. And also, like you said in the next segments in the show, like Jimmy goes to like Jay and is like, hey, bro, we got the match. It's legit. The Usos are coming back together. 2017 all over again. He's like, so I got to ask Roman. You didn't tell me that I had to, we were going to have a match. I should have been informed first. You see, like the dissension right there. So, like, before we talk about this, we got to talk about, the tribal chief actually going in the ring. He finally showed up. He's going to be addressing the WWE Universe because he beat Cesaro. So pretty much he's collected another victim to his, to his big collection that he has. Before he can even talk, they have Kevin Owens cutting a promo. So that was, out of timing for me. It's like, so, because Roman is out and he's like, well, I want to go for the IC belt. And I'm thinking to myself, well, because you lost to the Universal Champion, you can challenge for that one once again. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to stun everybody. I'm going to make sure Sami Zayn doesn't know the meaning of like conspiracy anymore. So I'm going to become a 3-time Intercontinental Champion. So good promo by Kevin Owens. But in the end, like the timing, it was not good because then we go back to
it was just kind of awkward how they put that in there. But, and also I forgot Owens won the IC belt 2 times, but
yeah,
this,
that was like the first year. Yeah. The first year he debuted.
This with Roman was Roman's theme. It makes him feel so like the theme is just so legit. How it has like that, it feels like the final boss of like, a Final Fantasy game or like some kind of like, just like a godly being, like, just
Rockman X, for example, Mega Man.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, his theme, like the final boss of like a Mega Man Rockman game. Like the theme is just so epic. And he comes out. And this is like the promo he cut was good. The promo, like even when did Heyman mention it here? Or was it the first part where he's like, oh, he beat, or he sent the Fiend to Monday Night Raw. He beat a monster among men. And
this one is over here. Yeah, he did all the chronologically. He's like, oh yeah, he's undefeated ever since he's been back. Fiend, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan. He did the most amazing pin in the whole story and history of WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan and Edge. All of that, like, Jey Uso, he baptized him, and then he bring him back to the family lineage. So here also, he says, I'm a very humble man. I've taken every single opportunity I've been given, and I've been able to teach my kids to be humble. I don't like to talk about myself, so I'm going to let my special, collaborator to talk for me. So that's when he did all this thing. But like you said, Roman is on fire. Again, it pains me to admit it, but he is. You know what? I got to give credit when credit's due, and the guy is actually believing all of these things. Imagine pretty natural.
Now, the only thing I'm going to say is imagine if when the Shield split up and you kind of had Roman his first push, imagine if this is what you did. Imagine like you could have had, you could have John Cena feud with a babyface John Cena feud with Roman like this. You could have had so much, more stuff to do with it if you didn't just hold on to pushing him as a babyface like this. You could have did Rollins, you could have did Ambrose as babyfaces. You had tons of stuff you could do. But, it is what it is. Yeah, but I mean, this run is great. And this whole time I'm thinking they called that everybody. And they even said like, oh, Cesaro, when he beat Cesaro, there was no interference. He beat him at his own game, wrestling. Yeah, wrestling. And, this was good. And I'm like, man, what I would do? And this might be crazy, but I would have, who's going to challenge him, whether it's at Hell in a Cell or whatever. That's when you have Aleister Black come out. His first match against Roman, and he beats him at Hell in a Cell. Oh, how over would Aleister Black been?
Oh yeah,
the first match challenge you, boom. I mean, the only thing that sucks is that would have been great if that was his like debut or like a Karrion Kross debut. That's because, but you just got to remember, oh, why is he all legit all of a sudden? When we saw him on Monday Night Raw, he was losing to like Seth Rollins, losing to Buddy Murphy. Why do we care about this guy? But Cesaro then comes out and he's trying to go through a promo, and it seems like he's just waiting. He's like, he's pretty much waiting to get beat up. He's just like, oh, how about you and me one more time? I'm sick of hearing you talk in the back. I was looking for Seth Rollins. Well, you didn't have to look too hard because here comes Seth. It pretty much just beats the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, and we knew it wasn't going to be Cesaro and Roman at Hell in a Cell because we even said at the, Backlash pay-per-view. We said, oh, it looks like it's going to be Rollins and Cesaro at Hell in a Cell to, to kind of elongate this feud with Cesaro and Roman if that's the direction that they're going.
Exactly. Like he went crazy. He was going nuts on Cesaro. Like he really beat him up one more time, injuring him more. like completely by like just taking care of him.
To me, I was actually laughing. Like when he, would slam him, beat him up, whatever. They're like, oh no, he's going after the injured arm. And then like the officials will pull him away and Rollins is like, okay, I'm legit now. I'm legit. And then as soon as and then he'd just be like, and he'd charge him again. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching an episode of Cops when they're like escorting the crackhead to the car, and then the crackhead like runs away, and they're like, no, get him. And then they like got him again, and he's like, no, I'm legit.
He was actually like you said, going like
again.
that. Yes. Like you said, like he will stop and not one stomp, then I'm legit, and then more, and then we see the face of like this is how Jean Paul looks when I say, hey, you gotta watch Monday Night Raw and do the review, like that. Yeah, that's how it is.
That's why I wear the glasses.
Yeah, that's how actually Jean Paul really looks. So there you go. And then like you said, he keeps composure. But another time, remember what happened with Mysterio? He went nuts. So once again, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, and then I actually like the backstage segment. I feel like that kind of dived a little bit more into the character because you see him, he's backstage. He's like, yeah, I don't know what came over me. Like,
it's
it was crazy.
Of you that I'm reacting this way.
But he was all calm. And then as soon as he saw Cesaro, he like snapped. It was like just seeing Cesaro, like, it triggers him to like go into this crazy man. And, like he said, he snapped on him. He's like, it's all because of you. You're the reason for this. Who knows? Maybe they're gonna dive into like
leave me alone. Yes.
Yeah, instead of like a broken, maybe Seth Rollins is the new broken character instead of broken Matt Hardy. They almost look the same. Give him dye his hair, then he looks like broken Seth. And his hair was dyed like that.
I look like I would have looked like that if I would be watching these suits.
Yeah.
Because
and you remember
fashion is very questionable.
And you remember his hair actually was like broken Matt Hardy's at one time when he had this like the blonde streak in it. When was that?
Yeah, like that was like a 2015, 2016 or something like that. Yeah, when he became WWE champion. Yeah, it's true. But like you said, like we see a new, more progression in the character, more developing, and that's really good and it's interesting. I really like that. So pretty good stuff on that. So now the next segment, let's go to actually the tag team champions, the Mysterios. So like they come out to the ring. Dominic is going to be facing Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode said, hey, don't believe everything you just say. Just because you beat us like there is nothing. It just was out of luck. It was a lucky day. All of that. So they go at it. They had a pretty good match. Pretty decent. Bobby Roode is really good in the ring. And Dominic, like you have somebody that is good, he's not going to go bad also. Like he's actually going this timing and good.
Yeah, the match for me was okay. Of course, you saw like Ray was out there, Ziggler was out there. They were beating each other up, trying to get involved with everything. But if I was really booking this match, I would have had Bobby Roode go over to maybe put that doubt in Dominic's mind, like, oh, maybe it is all my dad, maybe it's not actually me. Maybe I am bullshit. And then Ray's like, no, we're badass. We'll have a tag match, blah, blah, blah. And then you do something with that. Instead, with Dominic going over, it pretty much makes everything Bobby Roode and Ziggler say look like shit.
Oh, yeah.
It makes everything they say mean anything. And of course, we get through the match. I'm like, okay, badass, good. And again, we don't say it in no offense, but it's like no mention of Eddie. And right before the segment ends, oh, that frog splash would have made Eddie Guerrero proud. It's like, can Dominic just be legit for just himself?
No, can the Mysterios, you know what I mean? Like, can Ray have his own path rather than everything that he does? Oh, Eddie. Okay, we know what happened with Eddie. Like, stop it. Like, just leave the Mysterios be.
Exactly.
And I like one, like when Ray also like did like him. Dolph was going to do the super kick, and then actually Ray caught him, and then he actually made him hit like the steel steps. So that was good. Mm-hmm. I like that. And like you said, on the 619, pretty like he needs to learn how to like kick that with strength because it kind of looks like it's just like more like a breeze over here.
Well, I feel like the 619. Yeah, the 619 is better for like shorter people. Like, but like when you're real long and you have to swing those long legs, it takes forever. But like Ray, EO, people like with those short legs, boom, it like swings and it's a lot faster.
Yes, exactly. So like you said, but in the end, another frog splash, he wins the match. Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, like you said already, like maybe the feud is going to be against either Street Profits or the Usos. So pretty much, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are going to have to find something else to do for themselves because in the tag team division, they're out.
Did they have a new theme or did I just never pay attention to the theme? I feel like the lyrics were a little different. No, the Dirty Dogs, like that, like
Oh no,
it
it's
was.
just combined. It's just like start like kind of glory, and then I'm here to show the world. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like
it wasn't as like high pitched like the lyrics from
no, they
Ziggler's. It
actually
was
changed it a little bit.
yeah,
You're right
okay,
because of the backlash or something. They didn't have that. So like I
yeah.
mean, different for about like we're gonna split them up. Okay, I see you. Bye. Like there you go. That's what's gonna happen. But now let's move on. Like we said, this segment. Jay's like, so why you put me in matches when you don't even let me know? Is there my bro, dude? Road break. Jean Paul, we gotta be in a tag team match. So I gotta ask. So you guys see right there, he's going to Roman and said, he put me. He's pretty much looking like to his father, don't you think? Oh,
Oh
he put
yeah.
me in the tag match. Like I didn't want to be
Yeah,
in it.
he's like, blah blah blah. I would have asked you first, and I love when Roman, pretty much just said like, what you do represents me. So like, you need to get the job done. Almost like, don't lose, because if you lose, that makes me look like a loser, and if you lose, I'm pretty much gonna whoop your ass. Kind of, it
Yes,
was he pretty much put the idea in his head. So they're and also they're gonna win. This,
yeah.
that even if we didn't see this segment with with Romo, with Roman, it's just I'm thinking football here, but
With
like
Tony Reigns, with Tony Reigns,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, with with Roman, the Usos would still win, because what are you gonna do? Re-debut the Usos after over a year and then not have them win? No,
Yeah,
so
no.
but I mean,
Even
this
though
was
like
good, and I like that though.
oh yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and the Street Profits also kind of promo on them, kind of poking fun at them. So it's good because then you're building up tension in between the two, like you said. And this is kind of like the thing that the Street Profits should be doing right now, because they shouldn't challenge for the titles right away. Kind of like have small feuds with like other teams, and then maybe like month, 2 months, maybe by SummerSlam time, hey, there you go, you can challenge one more time. So maybe I can get behind you guys. But like you said, they made it actually official. So next week we're going to see the Usos finally reunited after a whole year going against the Street Profits. We'll see, like you said, maybe they can either win. Most likely they would, and this will put him right in contention for the tag title. Because what did Jimmy wants? He wants to be tag champion, so that way all the family has gold. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on that.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Because like I said, the Usos, they got to win, and it's this whole narrative, this whole story, because there is the tension between Jimmy and Jay, and obviously Jimmy and Roman. So that's the main story out of all this for me. Not even the Street Profits, not even eventually challenging the Mysterios or anything. It's just the whole like Samoan dynasty, Samoan
Yes.
family kind of feud.
Yes, exactly. So like Paul, I don't normally do this, but like this is trash. Okay, so like why are we having the same match, a week after week after week? It's announced for this in the coming up Raw, Monday Night Raw. I don't like this. I hate it. And the fact that like Reginald was not there, in this edition of SmackDown actually made it better. But it was just mainly because he's still suffering from like when he saw the flames, in this last Monday night like Raw show. So like I don't like this. This is makes that's why you said you're right when you said that this show is the worst show in WWE right now. This
Yeah,
show actually sucks and sucks really, really bad.
yeah, this is bad, and like I said, I'm so sick of just seeing these two teams feud. Maybe they don't feel like they have any other quality teams. I don't know. I don't care. Let's move on. That's pretty much all I
Exactly.
have to say about
Yeah,
that.
pretty much. Exactly. Like he'll save it for, Monday Night Raw. So, finally, Intercontinental Championship match, Fatal 4-Way. This was actually a pretty good match because, well, four guys like know how to go. Maybe we're not so in love with Biggie. Hey, the 3 years of power positivity, it's fine. Apollo knew sensing him. Sami Zayn, when he goes in the ring and actually wants to wrestle, he's one of the best in the world. And Kevin, he's pretty legit every single time. So what did you think? I was
I
like
mean,
rooting for Kevin here, but
yeah, I wanted Kevin Owens to win, but as I'm watching this, it's just this isn't special. This, I mean, even though it should be special because it's four people challenging for the belt, it's not on a pay-per-view or anything like that. So you knew, Apollo probably was going to retain, but there's good interaction with Kevin Owens with all these guys, because Kevin Owens has, he's usually has chemistry. He can work any kind of style. He can really wrestle. He can do like the crazy jumping off shit, like indie stuff, kind of like him and Sammy like to do, and he can do the the big strongman stuff, big power bombs, big slams like that. So he fits everybody's style. So he had lots of good interactions with everybody, especially Sami Zayn, when he did like the brain buster off the top,
that
everything
was really
like
cool
that.
too.
That was good stuff. Obviously, pop up power bomb. I think he hit on
Yep.
Sammy. I think he hit on Biggie or Apollo as well. Apollo, had good interactions with everybody. I mean, of course, him and Big E, the commentary is really trying to put that over. Oh, Big E's not, the score's not settled yet when he lost the Intercontinental Championship belt and all that. But, and then when, especially then when Big E took out Aziz, I thought that was kind of dumb because it's like, isn't he supposed to be like the big menace? You're trying to get him over. Like,
Yes.
he's really strong and then Big E just takes him out. And I was like,
Like Kevin Owens said, Paul, he kicked the Aziz.
Yeah, well, he's like, I'm going to take that, Nigerian spike and shove it right up your Aziz,
Aziz, so that was good.
Yeah, that was good. I like that line. But
you like the picture, Paul, is the Michinoku driver, according to Michael Cole.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Sammy looked good in this too, and I like how all the pinfalls were, where it's like, oh, they hit the big move, they're gonna finish it, and then somebody comes in, breaks it up. It was good. Nobody, I didn't feel really any like finishers got buried or anything like that, because that's the one thing I hate. Like we said about Tony Storm hits the Storm Zero, boom, kick out. So,
and then I hate that exactly. And Steven, our friend, says good match, but I will have had Cruz win, and then I would have had Aleister Black attack Big E after the match. So, that's what pretty much what happened.
But I mean, I agree. I definitely do. But because WWE, they love when a match is more than two guys, it's automatically no DQ, all that stuff. So they figured, why not have Apollo try to get more heat? But I feel like, I agree with Steven, and, maybe he's going to agree with me on this point too. It's like when you have Aleister Black kind of cause Big E, it seems like specifically to lose the match, it's almost like, what is Aleister Black aligned with Apollo Crews?
I mean, I thought
doesn't it kind of give that weird, like, but he's not, he's maybe gonna, Big E's gonna be one of the ones who needs to pay, for, whatever his, his sins or like whatever kind of narrative Aleister Black's gonna spin. But I think that'll be a good first feud for Aleister Black. Oh yeah, he hit the Black Mass, and then Apollo got the win. If that's
but I was going to say like a Lieutenant Black,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Here, Paul, take me to this, Big E hit the big ending, Aziz save, and like you said, this guy shows up. I like, the Undertaker vibe,
and I like when even how McAfee, how they were like, huh, what is this? Like, what's going on? He's like, what's going on with the lights or whatever? And then when he came out, they were selling it good. Of course, it doesn't sound as legit because there's no real crowd. You know what I mean? Like if it was a real crowd, you would have people cheering. But when they're like, oh my God, and they're freaking out, and it's just like silent. It just seems kind of awkward.
Yeah. But at least he came out, like you said, it stirs out Big E. Big Black Mass, we have not seen that moving forever. We miss it. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most legit finishers in WWE. And that allows, Apollo Crews to get the win. And like you said, he saves the IC belt. And, he's really happy. And he, pretty much saved the title in this fatal four-way. And in the end, we get to see an Aleister Black. Even he has I think he has a different type of eye on the left one, right?
He has a contact in and stuff. And this is a good. Like I was saying, I think this will be a good first feud for Aleister Black. But he needs to win dominantly over Big E. You're gonna kind of need to bury Big E here a little bit, or at least halt his momentum. Because you need to get Aleister Black over. If Big E starts, really beating up Aleister Black and Aleister barely wins, which I'm sure they'll make the match 10 minutes and competitive instead of 5 minutes and Aleister Black beats him quick. But, if Aleister loses at all in the next however many weeks until he challenges for a title, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look believable. He needs to go on a big winning streak.
You won't see the payoff for everything that you just did, and that's the kind of thing that when you start doing this, for example, let's talk just a bit about Xia Li. The payoff is not good. We haven't seen her. We don't know what's going on. It's just lost, and you had promising stuff, but you never follow through, and that's the big issue, and here Aleister Black, like you said, I just want to mention this quick. He says, my dad punished me in the worst way possible. I paid for all my sins, and that made me a better man. So for every single one of you to be free from your sins, you want to be innocent from everything. I am the one with the truth, and I'm going to.
I mean, I would even love to see if he has a match against Big E. He beats Big E, not even a feud. He just beats him. Hey, he goes against Kevin Owens. Boom, he beats Kevin Owens. He goes against Sami Zayn. I beat all four of these guys in real quick fashion, real clean, whatever. No interference, no bullshit. Now I want you, Apollo. Okay. And he beats Apollo.
Yeah.
and he wins the belt. See, that would be a cool way to boom, boom, boom. He beats all these guys.
And he's a statement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a statement. And you have also, like, in this guy, don't you think that you have like not in that same level of aggression or violence, but like a Karrion Kross character. Like a guy,
definitely, yeah.
Like, oh, like, I'm gonna make you pay for your sins and all of that. So like you have that aura.
And didn't he mention in his promo? He mentioned something. I forget what the exact word was, but like kind of like foreshadowing like a group,
yeah,
or something. So like we said, there's been reports of Zelina at the Performance Center. Maybe he's like, maybe he called. He's like, oh honey, I just got off the phone with creative. They're gonna push me, and she's like, yee. She's like, tell him I'll come back. Yeah, she's like, I'll come back.
And then he says he's gonna push me, and you hear, it's like, oh, hey, it's me. You want to come back? Yeah. Oh, well, can I still do my OnlyFans? Shit, yeah, sorry. So there's actually her return is imminent. So like they've been recording stuff, and they are saying that they're gonna pair them up because of how.
See, I wouldn't even mind to see. I wouldn't even mind to see like Zelina in a group with him, and Zelina can wrestle too. We know that she doesn't just have to be a manager, and also maybe if you don't know what to do with Buddy Murphy, put him in that group because they kind of look similar. Whatever, they have the history and stuff. It can even be like I abolish, Buddy Murphy, he forgave his sins, whatever narrative he wants to say, he joined up with me. All that stuff.
The best one baptized, yes.
Exactly. So this will be good, and I'm looking forward to it, and good to see him actually on the show.
Yeah, exactly. And like, do you like this, Alex? There, yee. See, he's laughing. So really good stuff. So thank you so very much, family. Thank you for Steven, every single one that has been watching this show. Don't forget, help us just with the subscriptions in the channel. We have content every single day. We'll come back with Monday Night Raw, every single show, AEW, despite the fact that it's painful, we do it. Monday Night Raw is even more painful. Jean Paul needs like painkillers every single night for that. If we see him, we goes to rehab. You know why? That's why. But where else can they find us, Paul?
And make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast, the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Have a great weekend, family. Be safe. And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...